judgment of who was going to be on the donkey of the day. They chose you.
Yeah, the Breakfast Club, bitches.
Who's donkey of the day today?
Yes, donkey of the day goes to Wyoming's Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter and the University of Wyoming. If you haven't heard, they are being sued by their own. Yes, 7 members of the Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter are suing the Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter and the University of Wyoming after a trans woman was granted permission to move into their sorority house. I can't make this kind of stuff up. These young ladies went on Megyn Kelly to discuss. Let me hear some of it.
Imagine what it was like for you gals, Hannah, in there dealing with this obvious man, but also one who's clearly getting aroused by just being around you. Can you give us some idea of what that felt like for you?
It's a weird, gut-wrenching feeling that every time I leave my room, there's a possibility that I'll walk past him in the hall, whatever setting that may be in. And it's never a pleasant encounter. And that's the scary part. It's a weird feeling just to know that I could run into him anytime, full access to the house. But this just goes to show, like, we need women's spaces for that reason.
Now, the reason I'm giving the Wyoming chapter of Kappa Kappa Gamma and the University of Wyoming the donkey of the day is because the leadership of the sorority reportedly, allegedly, according to the lawsuit, told members that if they have issues with Miss Langford, that they can just drop out. That's not how any of this should work. Okay, this is when I don't understand inclusion, because I thought inclusion meant creating a safe space for everyone. I thought inclusion meant making everyone feel comfortable. Is it really inclusion if you make the trans woman feel comfortable and safe but disregard the feelings of the other woman? The other women in the sorority? These women told Megyn Kelly that they understand that trans women need to be protected and have their own space. I believe majority of us feel the same way, but the women argue that trans women, such as Miss Langford, moving into their house is not the answer. Look, I don't know what the answer is, but I don't understand how we live in a society that screams, listen to women, believe all women, but then a group of women are telling you this makes them uncomfortable to have this young lady walking around with a hard penis, and we just tell them if you don't like it, then drop out. Why can't we have a conversation about this? Okay, I can totally understand the sorority accepting the trans woman into the sorority, but then after having this trans woman in the sorority and at the sorority house, if the woman in the sorority are saying, hey, you know, we are coming out the shower with just towels on and this trans woman is just staring at us and these women are saying this young lady is visibly aroused, they can see a little poke coming through and that makes us uncomfortable, how are we then willing to punish the women that are complaining? Shouldn't we be listening? Shouldn't we be trying to figure out a way to include everyone without excluding anyone? You can't promote diversity and inclusion, but then not include everybody, okay? This feels like nobody cares about, trying to do what's right. It just feels like everyone wants to push an agenda. And if several women are to the point where they are suing their own sorority and their own school, and they are going on a press run to discuss their issues, then maybe we should listen. Okay, in the lawsuit, the plaintiff alleges that Miss Langford is sexually interested in women and uses Tinder to meet them, and witnesses cited in the complaint said they've seen Langford sitting alone in private areas of the sorority house where she can get a close look at women walking by and she has a visible erection. Sometimes a pillow sits on Langford's lap. By the way, that is an OG man move, all right? There's nothing worse than getting an erection, okay, where you're not supposed to get an erection and praying nobody asks you to come here, okay? So then you got to stand up and figure out what to do with your penis. So if there's a pillow around, you're going to grab it to cover that thing up. But that's not what I'm trying to get across here. All I'm trying to say is you want to accept everybody, I get it, okay? You want to accept Miss Langford, I get it. But when several members of the sorority start to feel like it's starting to get harder and harder and harder and harder to be around Miss Langford for all these reasons they addressed in this lawsuit, can we at least listen and have a discussion without them allegedly being told if you have issues with Miss Langford, you can just drop out? Come on, we're smarter than that, right? Please give Wyoming's Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter the sweet sounds of the Hamiltons.
You are the donkey of the day. You are the donkey of the day. Yeehaw.
Maybe this lawsuit will, make a conversation happen. Maybe this is the only way to have a conversation. I don't know.
Well, can they require her to wear like different types of underwear or pants that covers the erection or something? Or maybe not, I don't know.
No, just type it up.
Nobody tapes it up. We don't tape ours up. Now we used the elastic around the sweatpants
And put it to the side.
hold it
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about like trans though. They tape it up.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Cause he's a trans
Trans woman.
Yeah,
He's a
trans
trans woman.
woman. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, just
Tape it.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
Yes.
thank you for that donkey today.
Yes.
BET. We'll see you guys some more. Shout out to everybody on BET. Erica Duchess say peace to BET.
Peace to BET.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.